This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be? Me, your me, Louie Tee. Welcome to lockdown coverage, week number 5 in the National Football League. The Bears taking on the Indianapolis Colts. 2 1-3 teams facing off, looking for their second win of the season. Somebody was going to get it. And this was actually a really good game, man. I was surprised because I'm thinking Colts, they come off a loss over in London versus the Jags. Bears come off their first win of the season versus the Lions, but it's Billy Ho, man. I mean, how excited could this be? How excited could they be? But I'm telling you, man, John Fox is crazy enough to make the switch, and I think it'll be the best thing for the Bears to move on from Jay Cutler, especially if Billy Ho's going to play like this. Who knew Billy Ho still had this in him, man? We're going to get to this breakdown here in a second. But first, if this is your first time here on this channel, welcome. Where you been at, man? Welcome to the Louie Tee Network and subscribe for more great content in 2016 and beyond. Also, I'm on Twitter. In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Go ahead, give me a follow there. And if you happen to be watching this while you're on Twitter, go ahead and tweet me. Use the hashtag LouieTeeLive to have your comment read at the end of this breakdown so that we can converse and go back and forth. Also, if you're watching on the YouTube live feed, go ahead in the chat discussion box, use the hashtag LouieTeeLive to have your comment read there as well. Also, I'm on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead, give me that thumbs up and like the page. And all of my social media platforms are up above, scrolling by. So make sure you like the Facebook page In the Lab Room. Follow me on Twitter In the Lab Room. And also, most importantly, subscribe to the Louie Tee Network. That being said, now let's jump into this breakdown. Likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe for what was a very entertaining game between 2 1-3 teams. Some sloppy football at times with the penalties, but that's what you get from 1-3 football teams. But nonetheless, what a good football game to watch. So we get to the likes for the road team, as I customarily do. I start with the road team and their likes in the first half. So we go to the Bears and what I like from them in the first half of this game. Opening drive. Billy Ho was sparkling on that first drive. And if not for a big face mask penalty on Jordan Howard that we will talk about a little bit later on, they probably get 7 on that opening drive. Billy Ho was sharp and move it down the field, had to ultimately settle for a field goal. And that was one of the stories of the day for the Bears. Not enough touchdowns, too many field goals that end up costing them in the end. But nice start to the game for Billy Ho. Speaking of which, the next like on my list, what do you know? It's Billy Ho. Man, I love beating up these backup journeyman quarterbacks that have no business starting, but yet seem to always find their way into the starting lineup. Whether it's Ryan Fitzpatrick or Billy Ho, these two, you can't kill them, man. You can try all you want. You can get as many roach sprays as you want. You can't kill these dudes, man. They're coming back and they're going to start for your team. And now he's starting for the Bears, and he deserves to start the way that he's playing right now. Billy Ho hasn't turned it over yet. Let me repeat that. Billy Ho hasn't turned it over yet. Blazed the Lions last week for over 300. Almost threw for 400 this game. What? Wowzers. It's Billy Ho showing up and doing work for the Chicago Bears. And Jay Cutler can go ahead and kiss his job goodbye. It's gone, man. Billy Ho's the new sheriff in town, man. Pack your things up. It's time for you to go, Jay. But in any event, Billy Ho razor sharp early in this game. But then again, who's not razor sharp versus this Colts defense? We'll talk about them a little bit later on. Jordan Howard. I've been gushing about this young man. I fell in love with him watching him throughout the draft. Then I soured on him throughout the process because of his poor combine and all of the injuries that he was dealing with. But when this guy's healthy, and he's healthy now, he's a difference maker. He's going to be the lead tailback. I talked about this last week. When I saw him against Detroit, I said, give him some time. He's going to be the lead dog in that backfield. Got his first start last week versus Detroit. Started again this week. Monster game for Jordan Howard. Scored a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Over 100 yards rushing on only 16 or 18 carries. This guy is legit, and he's a difference maker. He was huge in the first half of this game. He was huge in this game, period. Cameron Meredith, all right, finally getting an opportunity. Kevin White goes down with an injury, and now Cameron Meredith gets an opportunity, and boy, did he take advantage of it. Did have a big boo-boo late. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but made some huge plays in this ball game. Cameron Meredith was huge in the first half. Thought he played well in the second half outside of the big mistake late in the ball game. So another young guy getting an opportunity and making the most of it. This Bears team, I'm telling you right now, they're scary. They're a scary group. You don't want any part of these boys if you're looking to do something. If you're going to play these Bears, you got to get to them early, because the longer they play you close, they're going to gain confidence. And I told you before the season started, I don't know how, but John Fox is going to get these boys to 6 or 7 wins. That's just how John Fox operates. This is a young team, and I think they're starting to become talented as well. I wasn't sure what they actually had, but as I watched them, if Billy Ho can consistently play smart, turnover-free football, that's asking a lot. I know. Trust me, I know. But if he can consistently play turnover-free and smart football, they're going to have a shot if they can stay healthy. They got defensive players, man. They got dudes that ball on defense. They got young, hungry players on both sides of the football. I'm just saying, look out for the Bears. I'm not saying they're going to do anything impactful this year in the standings or anything like that. But I'm telling you is they're going to compete every single week. And if you come tripping against the Bears, they will lay you down and take a W from you. Colts holding the Colts to a field goal to end the first half. Colts get all the way down inside the 10-yard line, got a golden opportunity to get in the end zone. They sack Andrew Luck and forced them to kick a field goal on the last possession of the first half. That's a win as far as I'm concerned. You hate giving up anything there, but look, they could have got 7. Instead, you held them to a field goal. That's a win, as they took a 16-13 halftime lead to the halftime break, did the Colts. But that's a big stop if you are the Chicago Bears. Go to the first half likes for the Colts. Going for it on 4th and goal from the 2. Look, man, scared money don't make money. And last time I checked, Chuck, your job was on the line, bro. So 4th and goal from the 2, you got to go for that, man. You 1-3. You don't got no time to be kicking no field goals, man. Not from the 2-yard line. Better go for that. And he did. And Andrew Luck made it pay off with a touchdown and Dwayne Allen in the back of the end zone. Got to do that. I love it. I love the play call. I love the aggressiveness. And really, you don't have any choice. Now, do you? Adam Vinatieri, man. This guy's on my like list every week. What is he, like 90? This is ridiculous. And it's not like he's going out here stroking home 37-yarders. They asking this man consistently, hey, I need you from 53, Adam. Hey, I need you from 54, Adam. Hey, I need you from 51, Adam. And Adam's like, I got you. Don't worry about it, man. And one of them, I thought he was about to miss. Adam says, relax. I got this. And it just had a nice little drive and it curved right inside. I said, man, this dude is timeless, man. Adam Vinatieri continues to be the man. And how he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, don't ask me. I'm not the one that makes the rules. But when he hangs it up, the 5 years that precede, he needs to be in the Hall of Fame, man. This dude is extraordinary. T.Y. Hilton. Love me some T.Y., man. He was the man in the first half. He was the man in the second half. He is the man for Andrew Luck. All these other receivers, and I'm still waiting for my guy to come back. You know how I feel about my guy. And he'll be back eventually. Hopefully, when he comes back, he makes a difference and an impact. I'm talking about Dante Moncrief. That's my boy. But T.Y. is the man. You draft Dorsett. He's still trying to figure out some things. T.Y. is timeless. This is the dude that you know Andrew needs to play. This is the guy he's going to. And T.Y. did it again. He did it again in this football game. Field goal to end the first half. This is a like and a dislike. You got a field goal. I love points before the half. Don't care how you get them. Don't care what kind you get. Would prefer a touchdown, especially when you get inside the 10-yard line. I'd like to see you get in the end zone, especially when you get inside the 5-yard line like the Colts did on this possession. But you got to settle for a field goal, get those points before the half. They're huge. But this is a like and a dislike. It's a like right now, but when we get to the dislikes, it's going to be a dislike as well. You go to the dislikes in the first half. We go back to the Chicago Bears. Jordan Howard face mask penalty on the first possession. The Bears are moving it down the field. They're going to get in the end zone. This opening possession looks beautiful. I mean, it is well drawn up. You know how they script the first 15? Man, were they beautiful. They were moving it right down the field. Billy Ho is sharp. He's slicing up this Colts defense, cutting through them like a hot knife through butter. They're moving it right down the field. He gives it to Cameron Meredith, who zigs and zags his way down to the 1 yard line. They're going to get in the end zone. Face mask penalty while blocking for Jordan Howard cost them 15. They end up having to settle for a field goal. That was the story of the day for the Bears. Penalties at the most inopportune times in the game, killing drives, forcing them to have to settle for field goals or worse in this game. Holding penalty on Kyle Long. Do you see the theme here? Okay, they were moving the football. Holding penalty on Kyle Long. It was going to be 3rd and 3. They get the holding penalty on Kyle Long. It turns into 3rd and 13. They don't convert, have to settle for a Connor Barth field goal. Do you see the theme here? This is a theme that would continue throughout the day. Holding penalty on Logan Paulson. You see where I'm going with this? This is why the Bears are 1-3, now 1-4. However, on the very next play, they would get a touchdown to Cameron Meredith in the back of the end zone. So no harm, no foul. You get away with it this time, but the other 2 times you had to settle for field goals. That's not a way to live in this league. You can't cancel out good plays with bad plays. You can't negate the good with bad penalties. They hurt you. Bears doing that in the first half of this game. Could have been a totally different story without the penalties. Got to stop the penalties. Those hurt, especially on the road. First half dislikes for the Colts. Defense. Anybody, raise your hand. Can you play some defense for the Colts? Gosh, this is every single week. Jeez. Man, they were doing what they wanted to do in the first half. The Bears wanted to run it. They ran it. The Bears wanted to throw it. Billy Ho was throwing it. He was stroking it against this Colts secondary. Patrick Robinson on that touchdown that I just talked about to Cameron Meredith. He's falling down on a double move. What are you doing? What are you doing? The run defense is getting gashed. Jordan Howard with like a 55, 60-yard run in the first half. Cap that off with a touchdown run to get in the end zone. What are you guys doing on defense? Billy Ho all day to throw. 397 yards in this game for Billy Ho. Oh my God. Almost 400 yards. Yikes! Zoinks! Settling for a field goal on the first end of the first half drive. Look, I talked about it being a positive earlier and a like. Now it's a dislike because you could have got a touchdown. You should have got a touchdown. You were literally like first and goal from like the 7. And you ended up having to settle for a field goal. You had 2 timeouts. There was no excuse not to get it in the end zone there. You might have gotten as close as like the 4-yard line and had to settle there. Got to get in the end zone, man. Make it count. Don't settle for a field goal there. Andrew Luck taking a sack on 3rd down. And I wasn't happy with him taking that sack because he worked the wrong side of the field. He worked the left side of the offensive formation. And if he would have worked the other side, which I thought was the primary read there because they're running a pick play. So why isn't he working the right side of the offensive formation? T.Y. Hilton running a outbreaking route to pick off the defender to allow Dorsett on a slant. He was wide open. Hit him quick. Touchdown. Anyway, let's go to the second half likes. We go back to the Bears. And in the second half, there are a number of things that I liked from this Bears team. First and foremost, the resiliency. They were down at one point 19-13, and it seemed like this game was slipping away from them. And they rallied. They scored 10 straight points to take a 23-19 lead in this ball game. Again, Billy Ho continuing to play well in the second half. Jordan Howard continuing to play well. He caught the touchdown to give them the lead, to give them a chance to steal this football game on the road. They did some good things. I thought a guy that really surprised me, Bryce Callahan was playing some good football. And, I've been all over these corners for the Bears, these young corners that I really like. And so here's another guy that I'm looking at and I'm saying, wow, man, this guy's not half bad. Okay, so you just see how they're developing stuff out there in Chicago, man. I thought Bryce Callahan played well. He was also on my likes list. The pressure on Andrew Luck is my final like for the Bears. They sacked Andrew Luck at least 5 times in this game, and there were tons of other pressures where he had to get rid of the football. Willie Young and company getting home, Akeem Hicks getting home, the Bears getting to Andrew Luck and making him uncomfortable. We know that offensive line, not very good at all out there in Indy, and they showed why they weren't very good by getting to Andrew Luck and making him uncomfortable in the pocket. You go to the second half likes for the Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck late, okay? They're down in this football game, 23-19. He doesn't panic. Less than 6 minutes to go in the game. They speed up the tempo a little bit. They move the football right down the field. He gets an opportunity to hit T.Y. Hilton streaking down the middle of the field on a deep post, and he doesn't miss. Touchdown. Great throw, great route. And that's what they do. At the end of the game, Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, if you give them a chance, they will hurt you. And that's what they did in this game. Colts forcing a fumble of Meredith. Cameron Meredith had a stellar game, but with the game on the line, fumbled the football late, gave the Colts an opportunity to get another field goal on the scoreboard to extend the lead out. Now, instead of just needing a field goal, now the Bears needed a touchdown. Instead of them being down 3, which they were after the Andrew Luck to T.Y. Hilton connection for a touchdown, now they're down 6, and instead of them just needing a field goal to tie, they now need a touchdown to win the football game. Changed the entire dynamic of this game, that fumble by Cameron Meredith. Big play by the Colts to force that turnover and recover inbounds. Big recovery on the play by DeQuell Jackson to stay in bounds. You go to the dislikes in the second half, and we go back to the Bears. Connor Barth misses from 54 and 49 yards out on back-to-back snaps. So they kick a 54-yard field goal. It's no good. The Colts run into the kicker. The young guys, man. You got to forgive the rookies. They don't know no better, man. T.J. Green runs into the kicker. They get a do-over. Connor Barth misses from 49 yards. I told you last week. I said, look, I don't trust Connor Barth anymore. You need to start looking for more options at kicker. On Tuesday, you need to start trying out some kickers. He's not the answer. I told you this last week. You still trotted him out there. He cost you a ball game because, again, he makes this field goal. The game is tied when Cameron Meredith fumbles. The Colts get a field goal. You only need a field goal late. You got into field goal range late in this ball game. No telling if he would have made it any damn way. But I already told you, I warned you. I'm not going to keep telling you the same thing over and over again. Giving up the deep ball to T.Y. Hilton late in the ball game, can't do it. Make the Colts own it. All right? Make them own this one and earn it. All right? They want this win. Make them earn it. Make them own this win. Say, all right, you want this win? Go get it. But you're going to have to go 13 plays, 75 yards to get it. I'm not giving you anything. Instead, you give up the deep ball to T.Y. and give the Colts the lead, one they would not relinquish in this game. That's a bitter pill to swallow there if you're the Bears. Thought you did some good things defensively in this game, but one play changed the whole tenor of this game late. Cameron Meredith fumbled. I already talked about that fumble, how big of a play it was. Can't fumble the ball there. Too big of a spot. If you're Cameron Meredith, no, you haven't been in these situations very often, but you can't put the football on the carpet there. Really, it's never a good time to fumble, but that was the worst time to put the football down on the carpet. Holding penalty on Bobby Massey. I talked about the theme earlier in the game, how holding penalties and penalties in general hurt this Bears football team. No holding penalty was bigger than this Bobby Massey one, however. You're driving the football. You're in a position on 3rd and 3 to make something happen, pick up the first down, continue this drive, potentially get in the end zone and win this game. Bobby Massey gets the holding penalty. It takes you from 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 13. You would not convert. Now, I will say this. on fourth down, Billy Ho had Alshon Jeffrey never, ever trust a man with two first names, streaking down the sidelines wide open, and he didn't look his way. Newsflash, Billy Ho. I know you like Cameron Meredith, and I know when you were a backup quarterback, the guy you were throwing to in practice, yeah, Cameron Meredith. I get it. I understand there's a little rapport there. But guess what? You're a starter now, and the guy you should be looking for in crucial situations has a 1 and a 7 on his jersey. And he's got another first name on the back of his jersey. It says Jeffrey. I know it's confusing. Don't worry about all that. He's big. He's tall. You should be throwing to him on 4th and 13, not Cameron Meredith. Just a little bit of advice. I understand you were used to being the backup, and when you're a backup, you're throwing the backup players. Well, both of you guys are starting now. Alshon Jeffrey is the guy, the one with the first name on the back of his jersey and the 1 and a 7. That's the guy you throw it to on 4th and 13, not Cameron Meredith in triple coverage. Just a little bit of a hint for you moving forward. Don't worry about it this game. It's too late to go back and fix it. But moving forward, that's the guy you should be looking for. Just a little bit of food for thought moving forward. Anyway, go to the Colts second half dislikes. Botched punt down inside the 2. Come on, guys. Really? It seems like, and I thought Troy Aikman and Joe Buck hit the nail right on the head. It's like these gunners lose their mind when they get down there and the ball's down here. I got to stop it. I got to be the one. Maybe there's some kind of incentive in their contracts. You know, if you down X amount of balls, you get X amount of bonus in your contract. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how these contracts are set up, but a lot of these contracts have incentives and bonuses attached to them. So maybe that's why these guys get down there and they're like rabid dogs fighting over a bone, okay? Because the ball is sitting there. It's going to die at the 2-yard line, and these two clowns are down there fighting over it, and one of them kicks the ball into the end zone. Are you kidding me? Pat Mack does a great job of killing the football inside the 5 at the 2, and 2 bumbling, stumbling fools go down there and knock it into the end zone for a touchback. Come on, bruh. What are you doing? What are you doing? Andrew Luck misses Chester Rogers on a deep ball. Look, it's going to happen. You don't want it to happen often, but you get opportunities in this league. I talk about it all the time. You got to hit them deep. And Chester Rogers had 2 steps on the nearest defender, and Andrew Luck just missed him. It happens. He didn't miss T.Y. when they needed it, so I'm willing to forgive and forget, because when the play needed to be made at the end of the game, it was made. But that was an opportunity that was missed. Chester Rogers deep open. Penalties were a big issue for the Colts in this game. 4 false start penalties is inexcusable at the crib. You go on the road, you can't hear. Maybe you got to go with a silent snap count. Okay, I get it. You know, the tackle can't hear the call. He might move a little early. Guy in front of him is a little intimidating, has some speed, want to get out of your stance. I get it. You're at home, though. So you shouldn't be jumping false start. Not 4 of them. Maybe 1. Maybe 2. 4? No. It's not excusable. And then a delay of game late on Andrew Luck. Come on, guys. Do you want to win or not? Seriously. Too many mistakes. But you get away with the W. 29-23. Big win for the Colts. They needed this. Chuck Pagano needed this. It's a big win. Now you're 2-3. And guess what? Next week, Sunday Night Football on the road at the Texans for a shot at a piece of the division lead. How about that? After last week losing to Jacksonville and London, no one thought you'd be in this position, but here you are with a chance at first place on Sunday night on the road in Houston. How much better could it get? Take these boys out in Houston, get back to 500, and get a piece of first place all in one fell swoop. And then then you can say to yourself, we still got these boys at the crib later on in the season. We feel good about ourselves. Let's see what you're going to do. Got another opportunity in the division to get back to 500. You squandered one last week versus Jacksonville. Now you get another one next week. Let's see what you do with it. For the Bears, tough, hard luck loss. There'll be more of these to come, but they're going to be competitive. At 1-4, this is what we expected from the Bears. They're not going to be a team that's going to win a ton of games, but they're going to be in ball games. And if you don't execute down the stretch, the Bears will beat you. And so we'll see. They need to execute better down the stretch. The fumble, missed field goals by Connor Barth, holding penalty by Bobby Massey. That's not how you execute and win late in ball games. But tell you this much. They're making strides and they're taking leaps. There's progress being made out there in Chicago under John Fox. Let's check your comments and see if you guys have anything to say. Enrique Valencia says, do the Colts have the worst defense in the league? And how impressed are you with Luck and Hilton play this season? They are quietly becoming one of the best duos in the NFL. I am thoroughly impressed with Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton. I look at those two, and I think they are one of the best duos in the league. Look, teams know going into the game, we got to stop T.Y. Hilton and Andrew Luck, and they still can't do it. That's impressive. And for them to do what they do late in ball games too, love those two guys together. They make beautiful music together. As far as their defense is concerned, yes, the Colts have one of the worst defenses in the league. Yes, that would be accurate. That would be a fair assessment and statement to make. I think they're in the bottom 5 of the league in terms of worst defenses. They're in there. You know, Raiders are bad defensively. Redskins are bad defensively. The Browns are bad defensively. The Colts are bad defensively. There's some bad defensive teams in this league. But the Colts are right up there, man. They're bad. They're really, really bad, man. I mean, I'd like to see some numbers on that defense. They don't get enough pressure on the quarterback. They don't stop the run consistently. They've given up a ton of points. I'd like to see where they are giving up points as well. Yeah, they're bad, though. I don't think they're that bad points-wise, though, when I think about it. I know some teams that's giving up 30. You know, Raiders are giving up 30 every week, it seems like. So, Captain Spartan 04 says, how soon do you think Jay Cutler will be released after the season? Fairly quickly. I mean, they're not going to hold on to him. There are no more ties left to Jay Cutler in Chicago. They don't have to re-sign him. There's no money owed to him. He's gone. He's done in Chicago. They're done with him. First name, last name. What do you think is the biggest problem in the Colts defense? Lack of pass rush. And I think they keep missing in the draft. They don't have they need guys like Hassan Ridgeway, who they just spent a third round pick, I believe, on. They need guys like that to start stepping up and playing ball. They drafted the kid out of I want to say it was Louisville. One of those red schools. They released him. Jonathan Newsom. I think he was out of Ball State. Released Jonathan Newsom because he kept smoking weed. They don't have any pass rush. You can't miss on guys like that. And so the problem with them, they're banged up. They're old. I mean, Trent Cole was on your defense. What's my man name you got from Green Bay? That's that outside linebacker. I keep forgetting his name with the dreads. He's not a spring chicken. You got Robert Mathis out there. You're old, man. You're old on defense. All these guys are old. It's like Chuck Pagano just collected all the guys that he's coached over the years that were any good and brought them with him. Can't do that, man. Got to get younger on defense. Too many old guys out there. They're starting to kind of infuse this defense with young players. But, you know, with youth comes inexperience and mistakes. But there's just not enough good players on the field. They're old players. They're young players. It's an unhealthy mix right now, and there's not enough talent. Bottom line, not enough talent. And it starts with Grigson and his lack of being able to go out and get football players that can contribute right away. Captain Spartan 04 says, how did Brian Hoyer get Billy Ho as a nickname? You ever seen White Man Can't Jump? That's where Billy Ho originates. I just like Billy Ho better than Brian Ho. And Billy Ho it just flows off the tongue. And Billy Ho was the name of Billy Hoyle, the character in White Man Can't Jump. So that's where the nickname Billy Ho comes from. Of course, his name is Brian Hoyer, and people think I don't know his name. Of course I know his name. I just like to call him Billy Ho. Because he can't do right. Just like the character in White Man Can't Jump. He'd always mess stuff up in the movie. That's Billy Ho. Even when he seems like he's got it under control, he finds a way to F stuff up. And that's what Billy Ho did in the movie. And that's what Billy Ho does in real life. Captain Spartan 04 says, do you think Alshon Jeffrey won't sign a long-term deal with the Bears because he doesn't want to be a Bear? That's possible, but he didn't have any leverage in the situation. I mean, the Bears don't want to probably pay him the type of money that it's going to cost, being that the franchise tag next year would be like 30 or 24% increase in what it was this year. They either have to work out a long-term deal or he's going to be able to walk. Look, I don't know what he's in it for. Is he in it for winning or is he in it for money? If he's in it for money, then signing with the Bears will probably be the best way to get paid. But if he's in it to win, he can probably find a good mixture of money and a potential chance to win. Maybe he's one of those guys that's like, hey, I've been here through the tough times. I want to stick it out and be a part of the solution. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. Eagle Speed is a nerd says, would you believe me if the Colts finish 3-13 or 12-4 winning the AFC? They're not going to finish 3-13. No way. I believe you more if you said they finished 12-4, but I don't believe that either. They're not going to finish 3 or 13. They're going to be more somewhere in the middle. 7-9, 8-8, 9-7 at best, I think. I think 9-7 is going to win the AFC South once again. And the Colts may be that team to get to 9-7. We'll see. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Yep. Captain Spartan 04 says they also drafted Antonio Morrison, and he's a youngin', and he made a mistake late in the ball game. He dropped too far outside on a check down to the running back Jordan Howard, who turned around, made Morrison miss, and got into the end zone. That's what you get with young players. They're gonna make mistakes. Take the good with the bad with the youngins, but just know that they're gonna make some mistakes. First name, last name says the Colts had Antonio Cromartie. He's old and washed up. That's why they let him go. That's what I said. They got to stop doing it. Stop. And they did that out of necessity, though. They had nobody at corner. They had a bunch of injuries. I understood that signing. As soon as they got some of their stuff back, they went ahead and cut him. They got to stop with these signings. Eagle Speed is a nerd says, you think the weed rule is dumb in the NFL? Dudes are smoking weed. Bottom line, they can sit here and try to police it all they want. Guys are smoking weed, man. And so, bottom line is, yes, it's dumb because guys are going to smoke weed anyway, but just don't get caught. It's really simple. You know when you're going to be tested, don't get caught. Just don't get caught. Simple as that. And with that, I'm going to say adios. Great breakdown here with you guys. I appreciate you guys, all of you who chimed in with your questions. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room on lockdown coverage. Colts get the win 29-23, go to 2-3 with a chance to get back to 500 and a slice of first place next week on the road at Houston on Sunday Night Football. Meanwhile, the Bears dropped to 1-4. Tough, hard-fought game, but weren't able to get it done at the end. It's going to do it for me here on this breakdown. I got plenty more, including the next one, which is a doozy. Atlanta Falcons at the Denver Broncos. I'll be back with that one a little bit later on. I'll see you later on. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I will see you guys a little bit later on. Have a